What is going on, everyone? Riddick here. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Arcade1Up Namco Class of 81. Let's get into it. When I seen these new deluxe cabinets and they were going to do, you know, the Class of 81, I thought they were going to do a regular Miss Pac-Man too. Did they just nix that? I have no idea. I can't remember. I feel like they were, but maybe I'm wrong. But anyway, the Class of 81, when I seen that, I'm like, oh yeah, that I'm definitely getting, because, you know, the cabinet shape is exactly how I would want it to be. The screen laying down the way it is at the right angle, exactly how I would want it to be, you know? So, picked it up. As far as the gameplay and stuff, all the games play perfectly fine on it. It's not like a machine where you need to be you know, using competition joysticks or anything, even though there are some people that are going to want to switch it out. I think the games play just fine with the joysticks provided here, or I should say joystick, because that's all you really get is one joystick and a couple buttons, which is suitable for all the games on this cabinet. I'll tell you right now, building this cabinet is a royal pain, an absolute royal pain. There's so many like little panels you got to hang on to make sure they're lined up, and the panel that makes up a lot of the space in between the monitor and the cabinet and all that stuff. It's kind of wonky to keep that lined up right while you're putting everything together. But once it's together, you're like, oh yeah, that was worth it for sure. I can complain about building it all I want, but at the end of the day, once it's built, it's awesome. Artwork and everything looks great on this one. The marquee, another situation where we have a great looking marquee. The blacks are nice and black. The colors are popping just like they should. Everything looks great about this marquee, and the way they are doing these new marquees, it's perfect. John D, Arcade1Up, if you're listening, definitely stick to this design, because this is working for sure with the marquees, absolutely. The sound on this is crazy. Crystal clear, but man, it's loud. Like, it's even loud on 2 and 3, okay? But you can crank it up, and it, once again, has no problem keeping up with my actual coin ops in my arcade room, and any of the arcade games running, it has no problem keeping up with them as far as sound level. So sound wise, another win on this one. Online, all you have is the leaderboards, of course, so nothing to really complain about there. So completely functional and completely what you would expect. This might actually be my favorite Arcade1Up cabinet. Have had many Arcade1Up cabinets for sure, and I'd have to say, between this one and maybe the Star Wars, I really am digging this one. The Mortal Kombat is also great. It's right up there, but considering I have the actual coin ops, and I don't have a coin op of Miss Pac-Man, Galaga, Class of 81, or anything like that, yeah, this is probably going to end up being my favorite Arcade1Up cabinet as of right now. Let's go ahead and take a look at some gameplay, and then we'll wrap it up. Before we do go ahead and get into some gameplay, wanted to give you the cabinet height reference. I like doing that. So I'm 6'1". Here's the cabinet right here. So there you go. Absolutely no problem playing this cabinet. Man, I love this cabinet. Future Riddick here noticed that I didn't talk about something in this video that I want to touch on that's quite important. So the screen, it is a BOE monitor, and you'll note, and I'm going to show you here, that from certain angles it does like it looks like it washes, okay? But all the BOEs do that. Let me explain why. All right, so you notice, see, it looks a little washed from that way, and then you come over here, and it starts to look a little washed from that way. But these are drastic angles. When you're right here, clear. When you're right here, clear. And of course, when you're right in front of it, crystal clear. So don't worry about it, folks. It's the vertical orientation. If you moved up high or down low with your horizontal monitors that are BOE and any of the horizontal screen cabinets, pretty much the same thing's going to happen. So that's what's going on there. You know, people were all, my screen's washed down. I thought it was a BOE. It is. Calm down. That's just how it is. It's a vertical orientation. So when you move from left to right at a drastic angle, you're going to see it kind of wash on the sides. Okay. When you're right in front of the cabinet, it is a single player cabinet. The screen is blocked, you know, by, I mean, if you're observing the cabinet, it's going to be hard to see it anyway. But if you're the player, it's going to look crystal clear, no problem at all. And quite frankly, when it does have that little wash, when you look from the side to the side, it's not that bad, folks. All right, but yeah, I just wanted to point that out. Continue. All right, let's go ahead. Let's get into this. We're just gonna do Miss Pac-Man naturally. Now look, I only have it on 5. All right, start a game. Here we go. Plenty loud, just on 5. But I mean, it cranks. And it sounds great. Yeah, I can't stress it enough. The sound in this cabinet is great. Of course, talking and playing I'm not the best at. What else is new? But yeah, the sound on this cabinet, excellent. Games look great. However, I have something to say about that here in a second. Whoop. And of course. I love that Miss Pac-Man sound. Now, one thing I am going to point out here, turn this down a second. One thing I am going to point out here is, oddly enough, like a lot of the other cabinets with internet, Wi-Fi, the live button does not give you your menu to go back. Don't know what that's all about. Like, why did we take that away? I have no idea. So you have to resort back to the old way by holding down start, player 1 start. Okay? And then you're back to the menu. Not sure why that is, but whatever, you know. But you do have to do it that way, just so you know. Now, one thing I want to say, and I'll show you right here in the menu. You'll note there's no scan line option, but there is a smoothing option, but no scan line option. I understand what they were trying to do, because when you turn the smoothing on, it kind of gives it that hazy CRT look a little bit, but it's honestly, it just looks like crap. It just looks like crap. I don't know what else to say. But there's no scan line option for any of the games, okay? The only option is for the smoothing if you're going to change the picture image. So, with that said, I would just leave the smoothing off, because honestly, it just makes the games look like crap. And yeah, so games look great though. Otherwise, you know, it would be great if there were scan lines. Maybe they could add them in an update. I have no idea. But just know that, no scan lines. And of course, we'll play one more game. The other game on the artwork in the cabinet. Good old Galaga. Here we go. Love Galaga. Classic sound. What a classic sound. Love that. I do like that it has Galaga 88 on here too. That's always a nice addition there. I do believe it was on other cabinets, but like I said, this is the first cabinet with Miss Pac-Man that I've even owned of Arcade1Up. So I'm just, wow, that was bad. I'm just guessing, obviously. I didn't do my homework, folks. I didn't do my homework. Oh my goodness, that's horrible. Trying to play with a tripod in my way. Gotta love doing that. So let's go back. I'll show you the rest of the game list, and then we will wrap this up. Alright, so starting from the top, you got Miss Pac-Man, Dig Dug. Love Dig Dug. I actually have a real coin-op of Dig Dug, but it's in shambles, unfortunately. Dig Dug 2, Galaga, Galaga 88, Galaxian, of course, Mappy, Rally X, Mappy. I like Mappy. I remember always playing Mappy Land on NES, not regular Mappy, Mappy Land. You guys should maybe remember that one. I loved playing that. Rally X, Rolling Thunder, Rompers, The Tower of Draga, I think is how it's pronounced, and King and Balloon. So some pretty cool games on here that make sense to this cabinet. So yeah, I have not really anything to complain about as far as the game lineup and the way the games play. Now, of course, with Rolling Thunder, you have a horizontal game on a vertical monitor. So, I mean, you know, it is what it is, but not a problem at all. No problems with the game lineup on here. Great game lineup. Games all play great. And that's really all I gotta say. All right, well, there you go. There's some gameplay. Games play just fine and how they should. And yeah, there's not a whole lot to complain about with this one, folks, except for the build. The build is just an absolute nightmare. I'm sure if I built more than one of these and got used to it, it wouldn't be so bad, but this is my first time building one of this style. Not necessarily the whole deluxe cabinet style, but this particular style of the Namco cabinet with the recessed screen and all that stuff and the way it's built. First time building one of these. If I was building them again and again, I'd probably get used to it, of course. I don't know what other people are saying in the community about this one because I haven't seen a lot of reviews actually on this one, so I don't know. Maybe they're just all wore out on Pac-Man. I'm not. I held out, and obviously that was a good thing. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. Guys, I really like this cabinet. It's definitely hitting all the notes for me. Cabinet style, sound, gameplay, everything. Everything about it is just what I was looking for. I'm not trying to shill or do anything like that. I'm giving it to you straight and honest how I feel about it. And yeah, how I feel about it is, man, I really dig this cabinet. So there you go. With that said, catch you all down the road.